Hello, welcome back to Linux Academy. In this video, we're going to look at list comprehension. List comprehension is a way to very easily create a list of data. For example, let's create a list of numbers ranging from 0 to 49. Simply numbers equals range 0, 50. Print them out. Simple enough. Now I could also operate on that list while I'm creating it. So for example, if I needed even numbers, equals I for I in range 0, 50 if I mod 2 equals 0 and I is greater or equal to 2. All even numbers. I don't even have to use the range function. I could just use the numbers list that we created before. So I could do even numbers equals I for I in number if I mod 2 equals 0 and I greater or equal to 2. And we get the same result. I can also operate on them. So I could do square I times I for I in numbers. And this gives me a list. This creates a list called squares with all the even numbers from 0 to 49 squared. Simple enough. Now let's look at some more complex examples. So I'm going to use the random module. So let's import random. So let's create 50 numbers. Each of the numbers is going to be a random integer between 1 and 100. Print our random number list. Now using list comprehension, I can take this list, remove all duplicates. I'm going to cheat here a bit. I'm going to use sets. Let's do that. Unique random numbers equals a list, set, and then our list. So we converted our random number list to a set, which removed duplicates, and then converted it back into a list and assigned it to unique random numbers. Printing out the unique numbers, I get a much smaller list. And just to confirm, the length of our unique random number list is 37. List comprehension can also work on text. For example, a list called names with Adam, Justin, Joe, Tony, Zoe. Now using list comprehension, I'm going to create another list called names formatted and change the case on my names using the title function. The title function takes the first letter of a string and makes it uppercase. So now I can print them out, names formatted, and you can see nicely formatted names. You could do the same thing with the map function. Names formatted equals map lambda x dot title names. So you could do either one of those. You can do a map function, or you can do it the Pythonic way, which is with the square brackets and list comprehension. Let's look at another example. Let's find all the names that start with a J. You can do names starting with a J. Name for name in name formatted if name 0 dot lower equals J. There we go. Now let's look at another example. Using list comprehension, we will take a string and encode it and then also write the decoder. First thing I'm going to do is import the string module, which we're going to use. We're also going to import shuffle from the random module. Our string, our raw text, is going to be hello and welcome to Linux Academy. First, we need a list of letters from A to Z in both cases. So let's do that. Letters equals list. We're going to use a function called string.ASCII letters, which returns all the letters A to Z, both lower and uppercase. Next, we're going to create a copy of our letters. Then I'm going to shuffle the encoded letters. And now you can see our encoded letters are just a randomized version of our first list letter. So let's create two keys. Let's call one the encoded key. That's going to be a dictionary. And then a decoding key. That's also going to be a dictionary. We're going to do for key value in zip letters, encoded letters. Zip allows you to iterate two different lists at the same time. Based on the statement, K will come from letters and V will come from our encoded letters. Here we will create a dictionary called encoding key and put a member of the letters and assign it a member of the encoded letters. And then do the same thing but in reverse for the decoding key. So let's print out our encoding key. This says every time we get a capital A, we'll replace it with a U. Every time we get a capital C, we'll replace it with a J, and so on. So now let's create a variable called encoded text. Then do for letters in raw text, encoded text plus equals encoding key dot get letter comma letter. Now print out our encoded text. And as you can see, we have successfully encoded our string. Now let's look at another faster way to do all of this. So instead of using the for loop before, we're going to use dictionary comprehension. We're going to do dict, then a zip, letters, and encoded letters. When that one line, we're able to create our encoding key. For our decoding key, we'll use the same method, dict. We're going to zip together the values from our encoding key variable and then the keys from our encoding key. This is a neat way to create a new dictionary by flipping the keys and the values. Now, just like before, we'll create our encoded text equals blank space join encoding key with a get for W in raw text. Print that out. And we get the same exact text as before. We can now decode the same text using the decode key dictionary with the same syntax. And it prints out, hello and welcome to Linux Academy. Well, that's it for this video. Mark it complete and go to the next one.